I think today we're going to have a lot of honest conversations. I think, no one wants to hear bullshit, so we're not going to give you any bullshit. I think, oh, Tom Cruise, risky business. Yeah, not with these. I'm going to put these back on. I think no one wants to hear bullshit. I think it's been a very stressful week with everything that's going on. We decided, look, we need a all hands meeting with our clients. There's times like this, we just gotta sort of stick together. And I may tell you some stuff. Matter of fact, I know I'm going to tell you guys some stuff where, some of you will be like, yep, hallelujah, totally believe that. And others in there in the audience, because I like, not my first rodeo, others are going to say, no, like Howard, like I totally don't agree with that. That's bullshit, whatever. But I'm just going to tell you kind of what I feel. Like, G's going to tell you what he feels, and same with Barry. And like, we have no agenda other than to tell you the truth. And that's kind of like where it's at. So let's kind of hit it head on. Two big pieces of news this week. Obviously, the commission lawsuit and the judgment. We are here to talk to you about that. If you want to talk about that, if you guys have questions about that and want to get our opinions on that, I think clearly the elephant, like I think actually, believe it or not, that might be the mouse in the room today. And I think the elephant in the room today was the bombshell that Follow Up Boss got acquired by Zillow. And I think that's what I guess is what more people want to talk about. Happy to talk about the commissions. What we're also going to do is really make sure we spend a lot of time on the positive here, because G and his team and Barry and Gabe have been working on something called Ylopo 2.0. We really weren't going to do that Ylopo 2.0 webinar for a few weeks, but you know what? We all need some good news. And I think that knowing that Ylopo 2.0 is there's no extra charge for it, and it is like massively better, right? What you're going to be getting, like we all need some good news, right? So I think we're going to kind of get into that. So let's talk about Follow Up Boss. So, my opinion first off on, and I don't know, because I've not talked to anyone, there. My opinion on, meaning at Zillow, but of course I've talked to Dan, and Dan and I've talked quite a bit. Why did Zillow buy Follow Up Boss? I mean, it's kind of like, why did they buy Loop? Why did they buy Showing Time? Why did they buy Follow Up Boss? They have a track record of buying the best of breed, in particular agent and team tools. So if they went around and talked to everybody and said, like, by far, what's the world's greatest CRM? It was a resounding, it's Follow Up Boss. And there's a lot of CRMs out there. And again, I'm be brutally honest. Like when we first started at Ylopo, we decided not to build a CRM. We decided to be all in on digital marketing, complete and total focus. And at first, there were a bunch of CRMs. Like Gabe was over at FirePoint, and if someone talked to someone in sales at Ylopo, our sales guys were like, hey, talk to the people at FirePoint, talk to the people at LionDesk, talk to the people at Follow Up Boss, and I don't know, others maybe that we mentioned, and that's a personal decision. You guys tell us who you're going to integrate with, and we'll do it. Like, we're here for you. Over time, we noticed that the clients that were on two things happened. The clients who were on Follow Up Boss were having, it's not like, look, hey, I had someone yesterday literally like texted me and told me like, they love FirePoint, right? Like they love it, great experience. Or Sierra, they love Sierra, they're great experience. Like everyone, it's really personal, right? And, one CRM you groove on might be better than others. So like there's no general rule. But when we were looking at the sort of the majority, they were having a better experience on Follow Up Boss than others. And also Dan and Tom and all the folks at Follow Up Boss were by far the best partners we had. They were so responsive to us when we said, man, it would really be great if this integration could do X. It'd be really terrific if this integration could do Y. And they were always at like, you had us at hello. And they were the most open. There were no closed walls, most open APIs, two-way integrations, and they just kept going. Like we always dug in, and our development teams just worked so well together. And the product teams, it's always the way it's been. I can also tell you that I've never met outside of our walls. I've never met, and this is not a like blow smoke up Follow Up Bosses and Zillow's asses call. It's not. I'm just telling you the truth. I've never met a business owner who had the highest business principles and business ethics as Dan Corco. I'm just telling you this. Wouldn't do affiliate deals, wouldn't do pay for plays, wouldn't blah, 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 blah. He was like, you like my CRM? I'm going to endeavor to make it the world's best CRM. You'll pay me for the CRM. If you don't, like, we're not doing business, you know? So, and to this day, like he is just a give the shirt off your back guy. For every person who will criticize him and say, you sold us out, you stabbed us in the heart and all that. Again, I'm going to shoot straight with you here. Like, you get a $500 million payday. I don't know a single person that's going to criticize him who wouldn't take a $500 million payday. Okay. Now, not then he's personally making 500 million because there's partners and they're going to take care of employees and all kinds of stuff. Right. So this is the American dream, right? This is capitalism, is the American dream. Having said that, we've all woken up to a very serious change because I'm no longer just dealing with Dan and the team, right? And that was very comforting to just deal with Dan and team. So I am as uncomfortable as anyone or everyone because I don't have a relationship at all with his new, with the new owners. I just don't, right? So I have more questions and question marks. I can't give you all the answers because I have more questions and question marks, and it will take time to play out and time to see. I stand here optimistically that the partnership will not get worse, that the partnership will get better. Dan has given me his word that he's not going anywhere. Dan has given me his word that his senior leadership is not going anywhere. Was texting back and forth with Steve Pacinelli. He was like, man, like legally, I can't tell you guys right now what's coming, but our community is going to love what's coming. That's all I know. Like, all I know is, and again, Steve Pacinelli, another guy who I've known forever, since literally the top producer days, since the original gangster first day I ever could afford and scrape together pennies to go to a conference in Orlando, Star Power Star in 2008, okay, when I had no money at all. And I didn't even know how we could afford to go to our first conference. I didn't even have an exhibit booth, right? And I met Steve Pacinelli. To this day, one of the most stand-up people I've ever met, and he's over there. And these guys are telling me stuff. They've never let me down. So, I do not believe, and again, don't crucify me. I'm just telling you what I believe. I do not believe that Zillow bought Follow Up Boss to get access to your data. They legally can't get access to your data. They are a publicly traded company. They have to work within certain confines, and they're massive, dude. Do you think like Follow Up Boss? I don't know what size it is, but like 6,000 teams or something. Like it's like a microscopic bit of data for them compared to the data that they already have. So
they definitely are the data. They definitely
have here's my theory, and I don't know, and I could be wrong, but here's my theory. Let's only have theories. That if they get everybody in their ecosystem using the world's greatest CRM, which is Follow Up Boss, and they can even get their closes up by 0.5 percentage point, or get their closes across all of their clients up by 1 percentage point, let alone by 2 percentage points. They've paid for this acquisition and then some. That's the numbers that you're dealing with at that level, okay? So that's my theory. And I'm pretty I have firm convictions about it. It's not to get your data. This is to get their people across the board on Follow Up Boss, to improve Follow Up Boss, throw more money at it, and get people converting more. If they convert more, well, that, with Zillow Flex, like they're taking a percentage of commissions, right? So that's how they pay for it. And they are a publicly traded for-profit company. They have a fiduciary responsibility to make money for their shareholders. That's it. You can call them evil all you want, but they're not evil. Okay. They're just doing what they have to do for their shareholders. They're in their wake of the decisions they have to make. I clearly have talked to a lot of clients who are very angry, have had very bad experiences. I can't like that's like I'm not involved with that, right? And I can't change those people's minds. What I'm here to say is stay calm. I said that in the Y-Level Success community. Stay calm. There's a lot of dust storm right now. Okay, stay calm. Let's have some faith in Dan and Tom and Steve and Stacy and people that we've trusted now for many years. Let's have some faith in them that they're not here to screw any of us over. Let's see what these great things that they're talking about that come out. Let's be patient. If it doesn't come to fruition and you really want to make a move, we're here to support you. We are here to show you that if you want to go to XYZ CRM, we will support you in that. We will help you with the migration. We will help improve that integration. We are in the same position as you guys. I'm also here to say that personally, I would ask you to just be patient. And I would like everybody to stay in this ecosystem of the Follow Up Boss Ylopo ecosystem. Let me be very clear. And I know I might be pissing a lot of people off, but I can only be truthful. And also, let's get the elephant out of the room. I am being selfish right now. I am being completely 100% selfish for Ylopo when I ask you to stay the course. Why? Because I want you to stay as a Ylopo client. Your success is my success. If you're not successful, I'm not successful. Ylopo's not successful. And Ylopo's not about me. It's about a lot of people that work really, really hard for you guys and just kick their asses all day for you guys. We care about you guys. We care about your customers' experience. We care about your experience. We've always said this is a partnership. We are your outsourced digital marketing technology company. We are working on crazy stuff. And if you leave the whole ecosystem, you're not going to have that stuff. We're working on crazy stuff. And I want to show you the stuff, right? The AI stuff that we're working on is no one's going to have what we're calling AI squared or Raya squared. No one's going to have, AI texting working hand in hand with AI voice. No one's eventually going to have a 24/7 digital assistant specifically just for real estate to save you bundles of time, stay close to your sphere, your database, your clients, and make you more money, right? Like all this stuff we're building for you. Right now, the CRM with like that is just the best ecosystem for you guys by far has been Follow Up Boss. If you guys are on another CRM now with Ylopo and it works for you, we want to hear from you. We definitely want to hear from you. We applaud that. We were originally built to be an open system so that whatever CRM you're using, we work for. We still aspire to that, guys. Like, hear me. We still aspire to whatever CRM you're on. We want to work with that CRM. There just are a lot of other CRMs out there that have not been as open in terms of their APIs and integrations and doing the dev work that Follow Up Boss has been willing to do. That's kind of the reality. So I want to hand the baton over to G. I've not been looking at the questions in the chats and people screaming at me probably, but I want to hand it over to G for a second. And we are going to, don't leave before you see the Ylopo 2.0 stuff because it's free. It's amazing. I think you guys are going to lose your mind. So don't leave before that. But let's continue to talk about this situation. G, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I've talked to dozens of clients, as you can imagine, in the last couple of days as well. I, as with Howard, just preach patience, right? First and foremost, even if you are kind of wary of, kind of what's going to happen. Whether I have complete faith in Dan. I have complete faith in his team. But even if you didn't take his word on it, the terms of service of Follow Boss is ironclad, right? Like, your data is your data, right? And he's assured us that there's going to be a third party, I believe it's KPMG, audit very frequently to ensure you guys have transparency into that being the case. And as Howard said, I mean, Zillow has 200 million visitors per month or more, right? Like, they already have most of the consumer data out there. They're not after this as a data play, right? And I think that given that it's not about your data, you have to look at what is the best for your business, right? We have done a very deep competitive matrix of CRMs, and I can tell you, like, it's not even close, right? Follow Boss is the best, and that's why we've aligned with it. And making a rash decision right now is just going to hurt your business. It is, right? Switching CRMs is very painful. And so, at the very least, I think you should wait 6 months to a year. I don't, it's just not going to change, for this to play out. To make a rash decision right now would hurt your business, right? It just would. And so, I think that, as Howard said, this is going to, from a kind of Zillow perspective, is about conversion rate. It's about getting higher conversion rate for Flex, up from 4 or 5% to 8 to 10%. And that's what's going to drive, their business. It's not about, kind of taking your data from you, right? Like you got to think, like, Zillow, playbook one is they've got 2,000 salespeople that they're going to go and sell Follow Boss to. That's a major reason they're making this investment. Follow Boss has no outbound sales, and all of a sudden they have an army. They're not going to be able to sell a product where they take client data, right? Just doesn't make any sense. And so, if Zillow wanted to build a really powerful CRM, they could have done that, right? They have all the resources in the world. They want to be a part of the ecosystem, right? And I believe that is kind of the thesis behind this. And for your thesis, it's what is going to help you drive your business forward, right? Whether it's right now or in the future, right? And I think that, as Howard said, we have no crystal tea leaves into this from a long-term perspective, but certainly in the midterm, stay on Follow Boss, in my opinion, is the right decision, right? Because if you don't stay on Follow Boss, then you're going to have a deprecated service, right? Not just even from Ylopo, but in general, right? Like, what other CRM integrates with 100 different sources, dozens of TMSs, every lead nurture tool that's out there, it just doesn't exist, right? And it's going to take a long time for other players to catch up. And so, it is just the right move right now to stay patient and see how things play out, right? Like, that's just, my kind of strong recommendation. As Howard said, we're an open platform, so we'll integrate with anyone. And we have integrations with a lot of CRMs out there, Chime, Sierra, Real Geeks, Wise Agent. I'm just naming a couple here. And, if you were kind of like in reactionary mode, you're like, oh, okay, I got to switch. Like, we're certainly here to help you. But I just think that, to make a rash decision today is the wrong move, right? Like, Zillow's going to Follow Boss has like 40 engineers, 30 engineers, whatever it is, right? Like, Zillow is going to pour massive dollars on the development R&D side that Follow Boss just doesn't have. That's going to take it to the next level, right? From feature set perspective, from integrations perspective, all of that kind of stuff. And we all just have to see how that plays out in the ecosystem, right? Ylopo has by far the deepest integration with Follow Boss. And it's two-way sync. And, a lot of the features we built out were Follow Boss first, right? And I'm going to show you some of those features. And so, if you leave Follow Boss, you can make it work on other CRMs, and, I think you can be successful. We have clients who are successful on their CRMs, but, at least in the kind of midterm, you're going to lose a lot of functionality, right? I'm just being honest with you, and so in the Ylopo ecosystem, I always think client first, right? Like, user experience first. You're just going to be in better hands working, stepwise between the two systems. That's why we encourage all of our clients there to stay there and to get on the platform, right? Like, we sell 120 teams a month, and we're like, get on Follow Boss. It's not even a question, right? And I don't see that changing anytime soon. So, I think it's both from a practical perspective of, like, not hurting your business, and a principal perspective of, I think that your data is safe. if it wasn't, I would tell you guys, right? Like, we've talked extensively, Dan. I researched this. Like, I just don't think that is the concern. And a lot of you guys already are on Zillow, right? Like, I'd say, 2/4 of the clients, or three-quarters of the clients I talked to were either flex clients or heavily Zillow dependent. And in your world, it's just going to get even more specific, in terms of the feature sets you guys are getting, right? And so I again think that Zillow, and also what I'll say is, look at showing time, right? Like, it was kind of the same thing. There was an outcry in the beginning, there was a lot of reactions to it. And, what was Zillow going to do? And Zillow kept that as an independent business unit, serving the agent community in the same ways that it did, and then built Zillow specific features on top of that, right? That serve their community as well. Like their Showcase Plus product and all that kind of stuff. And I honestly think that's what's going to happen with Follow Up Boss. I think that, it's going to stay a pure play CRM. It's going to be welcoming of everyone. And it's going to still stay a hub. And then Zillow is going to invest to build out features for Follow Boss, but it's also going to build out features that are specific to their community, right? And for the hundreds of thousands of Zillow Premier and Zillow Flex agents, that is going to make a huge difference. For the rest of your community, you're going to benefit from the additive features that they build out. And then other than that, like, I think it's business as usual, right? And so, I think to react to this news, to, hurt your business and deprecate your business out of kind of some, spite or, just kind of emotional reaction, just doesn't make sense to me, right? And so that's just kind of what I've counseled people on, like, wait and see.
Yeah, I actually have canceled Follow Up Boss twice. Not recently. In like 2016, 2017, when Ylopo, like, we were super scrappy, and every time we wanted to do a new integration, I was like, all right, I got it, guys, let me know. So I went from Follow Up Boss to Lion Desk. Then I went from Lion Desk to FirePoint. Then I went from FirePoint back to Follow Up Boss. And I remember when I went back to Follow Up Boss, I emailed Dan, and he sent me a clip of Homer Simpson trying to get his job back from Mr. Burns. And just the guys, Dan's always been a really cool guy. And I think if I was to summarize my position, I have to love myself and my success of my business more than any dislike I have for Zillow. And I've been through a lot of CRM transitions. If I thought there was a solid second right now with my complete faith in the Ylopo ecosystem and I hated Zillow, I think I'd be offering different advice. But I think that you can't hurt yourself and your business just because you dislike another provider. And I think what makes, for a lot of people, I speak for some of them here, I think it makes it hard. Follow Up Boss has a cult following amongst the real estate community. We all just fell in love with the ecosystem. They threw the best parties. It was always the best time. We love the staff. We still do. But generally speaking, a lot of agents have a cult-like disdain for Zillow. And I don't hate Zillow. I respect the fact that they're trying to build a big business. And so I think for some of the people in this chat, like, you're looking at some of the comments, it's look, some of it's rational, some of it isn't, but they're really struggling with this. And so I want you guys to know, as the head realtor in residence in Ylopo, I strongly discourage making a change out of principle right now. It will be bad for your business. If 6 months from now you see that there's a big change and you're not happy with it, by that time, I'm sure there's going to be CRM companies out there somewhere that are going to try to, do things. Okay, maybe that's a different conversation. But for right now, you just need to focus on finding buyers that want to buy and sellers that want to sell. And for right now, with the Ylopo platform, you're best served. And I don't even know if I'm supposed to be saying it this way, but in my opinion, I just think you're best served by staying focused on your CRM, sorting by last site visit, picking up the RIAG replies, conversations, and closing some freaking deals.
Gabe?
Yeah, I agree. And I want to get to the Ylopo 2.0 stuff too, because we've been working so hard on it. But I just want to address, because there have been a couple direct messages and questions in there to hit those as well. There are plans on changing. I'm exactly like Barry said. I'm super happy. I know what's coming, what we've built in. And I've personally been asked several times. My answer was there isn't a second option right now. I truly don't think that's not going to affect my business in a negative way. And having built a CRM and seeing what's been put in place and getting to know Dan over the years, we're not going anywhere. Where we are changing, where we're going is Ylopo 2.0. What we're seeing, what we're working on, and where I want to make sure that we have time to get into. So I'm right there with Barry. Stay calm. We're not moving anywhere, and we're excited to talk about what's about to roll out.
Yeah. So I want everyone to hear me loud and clear. You know, I've always said on stage, you guys know this, who've seen me speak, you know, your success is our success. Your failure is our failure, right? That's it. We're in the same boat. Like, I don't want anyone to think that we're not as stressed out as you about the change or the changes that occurred this week, right? We're in the same boat, okay? And if this, you know, if what Dan and Steve and the team are telling me, and they're like, dude, we promise you, like, this stuff's going to get even better. The partnership is going to get better. We've told Zillow, like, we take care of our partners, our integration partners. That's the whole point of Follow Up Boss. It's an open platform. It's all about the integrations. And if it's true, and the tool gets better, and the price doesn't go up, and you know, and it's just better, and you guys are closing more deals and saving time, and the Ylopo integration even gets better, then great, hallelujah. And if it's not that, and it's something else, and something that a lot of you guys are fearing, guess what? We're all in the same boat together, right? And me, like us, by like 1,000-fold, right? Like, that's how, like, our pain will be 1,000-fold, right? Because we are in the same boat with you guys, right? And so if it doesn't, we're there with you. You guys know how, why are you even with Ylopo? Because you don't even know in 3 months from now what G's coming up with, right? We out innovate everybody. We are always 2 years ahead of the competition. I am on stage right now talking about AI stuff that is happening right now that is going to make people more money and save them oodles of time. And every one of our clients is going to benefit from the stuff that's happening with AI, because, and we are completely unique. We're completely unique in what we're doing. Okay. And so we've been trying to solve the last mile problem for a lot of our clients who don't have enough time in their day to do the proper follow-up and have been spending oodles of money on call centers and ISAs and all that kind of stuff. We were going down the path of building our own live call center, and then boom, like Gina's team have dug in and have found that we can solve this with voice AI. And that's what we're doing. That's just an example, right? All the stuff we're doing at Maverick, all the stuff we're doing with Raya Squared, Raya Texting, working with Raya Voice, transformative stuff. Eventually, we're going to give every single one of you a 24/7 real estate personal assistant that's going to screen your calls, make your appointments, do your scheduling, do your transaction coordination, all that stuff. That's what we're bringing you. If one of our partners screws us and screws you, like, we're going to be quick. We will innovate quickly for you guys. We will. We just will. We're there with you, right? I can't predict the future. I only know what you guys know. I only know what I'm being told. And I'm, based on the track record that Dan and team have built with me, I am not going to doubt him right now. I am just not going to doubt him right now. I have never known Dan to break a promise to me or to anyone that works for him or to his clients. So I'm trusting him right now. Call me a fool, but I'm trusting him right now. I'm trusting the partnership. I'm trusting that Zillow is going to put a lot more resources and dollars into their platform. I am praying they don't raise prices. I am praying that they keep it available for everyone. That's all I can do. Having said that, now, because like I said, there are folks here who have texted, I've read them, who have said, Howard, don't care what you say, not doing it. Like, there isn't a dollar of mine going to something owned by Zillow. I've read it. Like, you guys, and hopefully, again, it's a real minority, right? Hopefully you can just trust me and G and Gabe and Barry to stay calm and stay put. Stay calm and stay put. Let the dust settle. Let's see where it goes before you rip out your CRM that everyone's trained on and you screw everything up, right? Let's just be calm. If you say to us, I don't care what you say to me, I'm gone, right? Like, we're here for you. Like, our team has already been put on notice. We are here to help you transition to wherever you're transitioning to. We will help you with this. That's all I can do. So let's go in and take a look at Ylopo 2.0, which is coming to all of you. And we are beyond excited about this. And did we mention it's free? like, did we mention we're not raising prices? We're not raising prices. Okay, let's go.
Awesome. Yeah, interesting timing on this. We were literally going to hit go on a huge promotion campaign around this for our webinar on November 30th, which you guys should all attend, because we're going to spend like literally 2 hours going through all these features. We are, launching more than 30 updates to our platform. That is all going to have an impact on you guys. And, so I'm going to kind of tease some of these things, but I highly recommend you guys, come to our webinar on November 30th to hear all the details, right? And these are not just like future releases, right? Like, I know, sometimes we cast the vision wide. These are today, right? Like, these are things that you are getting in the next 10, 15, 30, 60, 90 days, right? So, this is the teaser deck. I'll keep in mind that. So first and foremost, we've spent a lot of work on our IDX, right? Like, if you guys are paying attention, our design has been significantly elevated. Our user experience is significantly elevated. Our calls to actions have been elevated, etc. And now we're digging in on the back end of that, right? So first and foremost, IDX refresh rate, we've gotten it down, and we will get it down by the end of the month, I believe, to an 80% improvement, right? So your refresh rate certainly going to be under 15 minutes. In most markets, it's going to be way less than that, depending on your IDX. And so, that's, solves, I think, definitely one of the, issues that our clients have brought to our attention that we really, really focused on as a group. So, I think that's a huge lift for us. Congrats to our team on that. The second is lead nurture, right? So, we have historically had very aggressive sunsetting logic because we want to protect your domain from email, right? At the same time, what we found is that when occasionally a client is like, hey, sunset my leads, we do it, and then we get a lot more activities, right? And so we're like, wait, you know what? Maybe we are being too aggressive here, right? And so we did a deep study on listing alert impact. And what we've done is we've extended the lead nurture or email listing alert window, up to over a year, right? Definitely a year, and in most cases over a year. And so even if a consumer was not engaging with a listing alert, we are still going to email them for a year, right? Of course, if they engage, we're going to consistently email them and more frequently, but even if they didn't, we're going to engage them for a year. And then we may extend that over time. We'll see, right? So that's number one. Number two is we're going back in time into all of your leads, and we're looking at every signal that they have that they were once interested in you, and we have a legitimate email address, right? And if they do, we are reactivating those leads. We call this process sun rising, and we are going to sunrise all of your leads, right? And so you're going to see a different tag for those sunrise leads. We don't exactly know what we're going to call it yet, but any lead that had a signal for us that they were willing to receive emails from us and it was a legitimate email and we're not going to hurt your domain, we're going to unsunset for you, essentially, right? So I think both of those moves, huge from an IDX perspective, lead nurture perspective. On our branded website, we've heard you guys loud and clear. The design looks great. We have a lot of features, but, it's too slow, right? And it's slow because we have a lot of graphical elements on it. We're doing a lot, etc. But we did a complete rewrite of our listing alert, our branded site platform, right? And we call it, Lightning. And I just want to show you, if I can, an example of that. So you can see what I'm talking about. So this is a domain. I didn't preload it, right? This is actual site speed, right? Loaded
Dude, you are so
in
bright.
under a second.
Yeah, you're
Under a second.
great.
Especially on
Look
Zoom.
at that live. I was holding my breath.
Well, because Wi-Fi sometimes sucks, you know, like
Yeah. The Zoom, Zoom latency. Yeah.
Zoom latency. Anyways, we have scored on our standard, template, I think like a 98 or 99% on Google Webmaster Score on these templates, right? And that's up from like 50, 60, right? And so we kind of tune these experiences to be lightning fast. And so not only is your IDX experience lightning fast, but your branded website experience is lightning fast as well, right? And so we're very proud of that. Now it's going to take us, a couple months to get everyone switched over because we literally have to rebuild your website. So we will be starting a sign-up list for those of you that want to jump the line and get first to progressively, kind of turn your site over. And we are standing up a separate team that is just devoted to this, that will get all of your websites done in over the course of a couple of months. I'd say that the release that I am most excited about is our seller experience, right? We have partnered with Follow Homebot for a long time. And, Homebot is great, but it obviously had weaknesses and we had control issues over what they could do, right? And so we are launching our own complete brand new seller suite, right? This is Ylopo owned technology, Ylopo controlled experience, right? And this is going to replace what you currently have, right? And this is something that will be released probably in January, I would say, to all of our clients, right? So, imagine they're getting a seller alert, and obviously seller alerts are going to change to mimic this design. They're going to come into this experience and your branding, your agent branding is top and center, right? So it's not team branding. It is specific to the assigned agent and all their contact information. You get an estimated home value. We license the top home valuation platform in the industry. It's going to give you a low, high score. It's going to show you trends in all of these areas. We still have equity data. So we're going to have estimated, home equity. They can adjust it as they want. And we're able to tie the seller experience into all of the data you have in our system, right? So as an example, one of the most powerful calls to actions and widgets that we found is how many buyers want to buy a home like yours, right? So we have transparency into your CRM and we can pull out looking for a similar home like yours. We have 1,800 buyers, right? And if they click, help me schedule a private showing, boom, all of these buttons are going to generate new priority alerts for you with different tags. And so you can speak to that directly, right? Home details all pulled automatically from our kind of data partner, market trends that we're showing all from Altos data. So we license all of that data for you as well. Market trends analysis, current sold, active, pending listings that impact your home price, and then different calls to actions from there, as well as a search widget to look for new homes. Right. And so this is a complete ground up redesign. And what's great about this experience is not only does it, I think, look amazing and have features that no other seller experience has because of the interconnection of data that we have, but all of these trigger alerts in your system that then trigger alerts on our side connected to Ride, Text, and Voice. Right. So when someone clicks on tune your home value, help me understand, contact to learn more, help me schedule a showing, every call to action here, that's a priority alert to you to reach out to the client, but that's also a differentiated behavioral text that we send out to the lead and eventually a differentiated voice call to that lead, about all of those actions. Right.
So,
and go ahead.
So right there, I just want to make sure people caught that. So because of this is all being brought in-house on Ylopo now, what we were spending so much time, Barry and myself, you working with a team, is that everything happening here now is in sync and communicating and triggering behavior, priority alerts, not just one HomeBot engaged tag, multiple priority alerts, different tags, alerting you of the different activities that these potential sellers are having, addition with AI.
Yeah, because That's exactly right, Gabe, because we were in the meeting with our product team and we said, look, right now it's HomeBot engaged. Like that's the signal. But if I want to have a drip around someone that's interested in how many buyers they have, that's a different nurture campaign. That's a different organizational flow for me versus how much equity they have, if there's homes for sale in their neighborhood. And to have it all parsed out is fantastic. And the other thing I want to say here, G, is that no one else is able to provide a comprehensive, like I can think of 3 vendors that you could piece together with duct tape to provide similar offerings, like the heat map that you guys see on your screen right now, like the equity that they have, listing alerts. And so many people are saying, oh, tap this on, tap that on. And when we saw an opportunity here to take the whole breadth of our tools, combine them in a consumer friendly way so that you guys can talk to more people that want to sell their home. And there's more following. I don't want to steal the thunder, but we wanted to make sure that we created products that captured the consumer's attention to serve your business. And what we've done is once we get their attention, like, for example, they're interested in how many sellers there are, there's a whole nother series of products and innovations around helping you to nurture these people that I don't want to steal any thunder around. So what we're doing is we're iterating on what was already a fantastic product to adapt to the current rate or the current market. And this is why you guys love Ylopo. We are obsessed with staying 1 to 2 years ahead of what the consumer thinks is possible, 3 to 4 years ahead of what the competition is doing. This is why this ecosystem is so powerful and why I put my whole faith and career, at the altar of Ylopo.
And sorry, I don't want to take more time from G, but staying ahead. But guys, it's also like we're literally in there. Sometimes Barry and I are like, we're like, no, stop. I know that's great, but this is how we use it in the field. This is what my agent needed to do. This is what we needed to do. So it's not just staying ahead and pretty like it's how are you guys going to use it? Listening to what the feedback we're getting on office hours, all of that, bringing that together for you. And there is more coming on this. I'm super excited to talk about down the road.
Yeah, and answer 2 questions I saw before I move on. So the first is we will have nationwide AVM and mortgage and equity data. So we will be able to behaviorally text and call our leads and say, hey, your home value has increased by $5,000 this month. Do you want to have a conversation about that? Right. And so this experience is just the front end of like a deep integration with the rest of our tech stack. Right. Like that's the intention. That's why we're building it. So we have full control. Right. So let me move on. And I would again encourage you to come November 30th because I previewed maybe 30% of what we're doing on sellers, right? So, there's a lot more depth around this because we're becoming more and more seller focused, not, reaction to the market, reaction to the class actions, all of that stuff. I know we all are as businesses. And so there's a massive orientation around sellers in our platform.
Hey, guys,
one thing, go ahead.
Sorry, I might have missed it because I got a lot of text messages coming in and stuff, but talking about Canada, we've always had problems with sold data in Canada. Mark Jensen writes in here, we have 97,000 agents in just Ontario alone that would pay big dollars for this since we have nothing for sellers. So I don't know. You don't know. I don't want to have an answer, but
yeah. So what we're going to do on that front, Great question. Yeah. So we still don't have access to nationwide seller data, AVM. I just frankly haven't found it. There's only been, we can get, sold data through a VOW feed, which, as an example for our TREB clients, TREB clients, we already are doing, but we are not able to contractually make derivative data from that, right? So we cannot make our own AVMs and market trends and all that kind of stuff, right? There's only been a couple of companies that have been able to do that. I don't frankly know how, but it's not available in like any platform that we've seen that's comparable to ours. And so it's something that like I frequently research, but I just haven't found a good solution for you guys, right? That being said, we will make sure you can use this tool, right? And the way we're going to do that is we're going to add an implementation in Stars that allows you to input in the home value of a seller lead yourself, right? And so they will still get a seller alert from us with all of that rich features. You're just entering in their predicted price, which frankly, you know better than anyone anyways, into the AVM itself. Right. And so we are going to have a solution for Canadian clients. We are being very thoughtful about that. And we're always on the lookout for more data. But we want to make sure this is very usable for our Canadian clients. And that's our solution for you. So let me talk about the next generation of riot texting. Maybe I'm the one who geeks out about this stuff the most because it's so cutting edge. But we are moving to a full large language model, meaning a generative AI driven AI process. And we are seeing just amazing conversations coming out of this, right? So I'm going to play for you a video of what our typical conversation on Ylopo looks like today, which is already really good. And then I'm going to show you that same conversation through our new riot text process. Okay. Just checking.
Hi,
Can
Gary.
you guys hear that?
This is Raya, Melissa's assistant with XYZ Brokerage. Did you ever find that house you were looking for in the area? I have several listings that might work on our website. Here's a link. Also, if you're not interested in being texted, just say stop. Gary.
So we're being
the property-
persistent here. I'm going to jump ahead.
Hi, Gary. This is Melissa's assistant with few real estate purchase. I should text it to you or email it. Melissa's assistant with XYZ Brokerage.
Email is best.
Have you began thinking of a general area you'd like to live?
Prefer downtown Sarasota. Condo.
I've heard from other clients that they really liked the Sarasota area. What price point are you thinking about currently?
1 to 2 million.
Got it. We'll keep that range in mind with your search parameters. Another question I have is regarding the bedrooms and bathrooms. How many would your perfect house have of each?
3 bed. 2.5 bath.
Great. I have that down for a 3-bed, 2.5 bath home. I think we can find one. Have you gotten pre-qualified for a loan yet?
Cash.
Got it.
Okay, so won't belabor the point. That was a real conversation that happened with a consumer, and already pretty damn good, right? That's what's happening today. This is what's going to happen in the very near future.
Hi,
I'm
Gary.
gonna just jump ahead here.
With XY listings that might work for your purchase. I found a property that you might like. Let me know if I should text it to you or email it. Melissa's assistant with XYZ Brokerage.
Email is best.
Got it. I'll make sure to email you the property details. Are you considering making a move anytime soon?
Probably within the next 6 months.
That's great to hear. Planning ahead is always a good idea. Have you begun thinking of a general area you'd like to live?
Prefer downtown Sarasota. Condo.
That's a great choice. Downtown Sarasota offers a vibrant and convenient lifestyle. What price range are you considering at this time?
1 to 2 million.
With that budget, we can definitely find some amazing options for you. Another question I have is regarding the bedrooms and bathrooms.
So you guys can see this is a much more naturalistic conversation where we're responding to the consumer as they give us these conversations, right? And we're seeing engagement rate increase. It's just a order of magnitude difference in the level of sophistication. And, frankly, I think going forward, this is, you should just let the bot cook, right? Like they're going to have, a lot more detailed conversations than, what an agent has time to type out, right? So really exciting stuff going on there. We are orienting around seller lead generation heavily. What we found is that, as you guys, no surprise, cash offers is the best lure to generate seller leads, right? Now, the problem with cash offers on a nationwide basis is that most of our clients don't have cash offers, right? And so, I won't tease this. I will tease this now and just say come November 30th, but we are partnering with a nationwide provider of cash offers. Like they won't operate in like 2 states or something like that. But for the vast majority of the country, you will be able to, through the Ylopo platform, provide a cash offer to anyone. Now, if you have your own cash offer platform, you can enter it into that system and do your own thing, but it provides a baseline for all of our clients to be able to do seller marketing with cash offers. On the cash offer side, what we found to be very effective, and this is kind of new generation technology, is display advertising, obviously, but video advertising. We're doing a lot of stuff with YouTube, which was never possible before, from an advertising perspective. And we have leveraged AI to be able to massively create creative for you, which again, wasn't possible before. So let me just show you some of the type of advertising we do. So this is a very basic advertising video. Oh, there should be sound, right? But, as an example, snapshot, get a cash offer, playing 15 seconds long, showing on YouTube, right? Here is a longer video. Okay, so we're using really novel, innovative strategies to generate leads for you. And in the markets that we're testing cash offers, we've been able to get that lead down to as low as $19 per lead, right? Like some of your buyer leads aren't that cheap, right? And so, we expect to roll this out as an option for you guys at scale in Q1. And our objective is to make you guys more seller focused and give you guys an offer on a nationwide basis that would allow you to do this type of advertising.
Well, and what's subtle about this and why the YouTube thing is such a big deal is I'm not saying no one goes to Google and searches, get me a cash offer for my house. But many times someone that's looking at making the rash and urgent decision to sell their house, they're kind of just reacting. Right. And so to be able to have commercials that are demographically targeted to people that might not have been looking for a cash offer, but need one is subtle genius. Because again, not everybody is going through the process logically and pragmatically like your conventional seller. But to be able to put these brand display ads on YouTube that puts the offer in front of them and then quickly generates it, and then what could you use the phrase again outside of just the ad? What is the national offer, or how did you tease it out just then? Say it again for everybody.
I'm sorry, I was reading comments. Say that one more time.
What you just said something about that will enable you to offer cash offers. How are you phrasing it?
So we're working on a nationwide deal with a near nationwide cash offer platform that will allow you to have cash offers in your back pocket.
Big deal, really, really big deal. Because if you don't have the availability to offer a cash offer and you get a cash offer lead, you're like, but to know that there's a mechanism that Ylopo is working on to try to prevent that for you, it's a big deal. I know that the TBD in those details, but it's a really exciting innovation for people to sell their leads.
Yeah, and that November 30th, we're going to be able to go a lot deeper into each one of these to get, some of those questions answered as we have more time to do it.
Yeah, 100%.
We know that 99.9% of these are not going to be cash transactions. They're going to be seller leads. They're going to be the world's greatest seller leads. That's what it's all about. If they want to be interested, just see what kind of offer they get. Great. But now you're in the conversation. It's like FSBOs, right? What percentage of the FSBOs actually end up being FSBOs, right? They become the world's greatest seller lead.
Yeah, 100%. And 26% of the people coming in as home buyers on your platform, we call them home searchers, right? Not buyer leads, say they need to sell before they can buy. They have a home that they need to sell, right? And so once again, we're using cash offers as a bait because we've seen that to be the most effective, and using that as a platform for you guys. I saw a question. We will be able to do this on a remarketing basis as well. And we are going to use this for Ryan text and voice, right? So it's all integrated in our suite. For those of you that haven't heard, we are integrating Raya Text and eventually Raya Voice directly into the Follow Up Boss inbox. This is one of the reasons that we love Follow Up Boss, right? Like we're working on innovative stuff with them all the time. And what you're going to be able to do is instead of having smart lists and trying to respond via text or whatever, boom, it's all in there with your other text, other emails. You can see it, you can respond to it. It's all in there, right? So very excited about that feature. Last thing I'll preview for you is on Maverick. We're really excited about Maverick. Obviously, if you haven't heard about it, then you need to check it out. But it's our sales analytics and enablement platform that allows you to have full transparency into your sales pipeline, into your agent performance, all that kind of stuff, right? And we're going to talk more about these features, in the future. But as Howard said, we are going to be the leaders in AI in this space, right? And there's a lot of AI that is about lead nurture, lead generation, all that kind of stuff. But we need to look at AI for agent improvement, right? Your agent performance, agent accountability, and then ultimately agent performance. And one of the features that I'm most excited about is call grading, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to listen via AI to every call that is happening in Follow Up Boss that is recorded, right? Again, Follow Up Boss only feature, right? And what we're going to do is tell you, what is the average quality score of those phone calls, right? How many people asked LP Mama, right? Location, price, all that kind of stuff. How many of them asked for an appointment, right? What was the agent to lead talk ratio? What was the agent appointment set rate? Dead air, objections to disconnect rate, right? We're going to tell you rich details about every one of your agents and how they stack up against each other, right? And you can then go into the actual recordings when you talk to a particular agent and look at their individual calls and all of the grading around it, right? So you have an agent that's not performing well. You want to know they have a quality score of 2.5. We tell you, right? You'll be able to benchmark all of your agents. Here's my top agent. Here's my bottom agent, right? Now my bottom agent, what's going on with that particular individual? You will actually be able to go into their phone call. We're going to tell you, link to the recording, obviously, but here's the grading of that call. Sentiment was bad. Client motivation not asked, timeline not asked, this, that, and the other. Here's the talk ratio, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? So for the first time ever in our industry, it's not guesswork anymore, right? Like, how do I improve the quality of my agents? What is the quality of my agents? We're going to assess that for you and give you that data so you can elevate your team. Right. I think, this is the feature of Maverick, and we have a lot of crazy AI features coming that I am most excited about.
Well, yeah, because I think you gave some math the other day that the ISA calls, I'm going to make up the numbers, are like 3 minutes, right? So the ISAs are making these calls, but then the agents are having on average 15 minutes of calls. And I know I've experienced this, Gabe, I know you have, where the ISA is able to transition the lead over to my agent, and my agent misses the opportunity. Maybe they say they're waiting a year and my agent blunders it and says, okay, I'll call you in a year, instead of saying, oh my gosh, we should start meeting now, right? That's a significant difference in outcome, and it reduces revenue to my business. To have every call that my agent is having to be graded, and for me to use that to then coach my agents easily at scale without me having to listen to agonizing hours of call recordings, is a huge win. It optimizes my ability to train.
100%. We've gone over and, here's what I'll say. This was a teaser, right? Like, we are releasing so many more stuff. Like, I showed you like 10 things out of over 30 things that I'm going to show you November 30th. And so, let's go deep there and let me reveal all of those features. And again, these are not like future stuff, right? Like, this is Q4, Q1 stuff that we're releasing to you. So if you want to attend that webinar, which obviously you should, just go to ylopo.com/ylopo2, right? And you will be able to sign up for that Zoom. We will, bang this over your heads over the next couple of weeks. We will do videos that show you these features in detail to get you excited about it. But everyone here, please join us for our release webinar for Ylopo 2.0, November 30th.
And I think there's even more on that one, right, G? I think there's some stuff we cut out on this teaser that will be
Oh
going
my
in
God.
there.
Like I
Like,
said,
yeah.
this is 10%, this is 25% of what you're getting, 30% of what you're getting in November, 30th. And that's why that's going to be a 2-hour webinar, because we're going to go over so much stuff, right? In principle, look, what we're trying to do is not only give you the latest stuff, but also allow you to consolidate your technology, right? And you're already making a big investment in Ylopo. We know that. We don't want you to have to also, there's other platforms that do other things really well, which is fine. And if you want those upgraded features, great. But in terms of the core user experience, we want to allow you to be able to consolidate your technology to hopefully save some dollars, right?
So I was on a
Cool.
podcast this morning, and it was just really cool. And I just had to show them, what's going on in the AI voice. Like, I'm just telling you guys, the AI voice, people like, it'll never be human and blah, 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 blah. Like, I'm telling you. So I now show a human ISA call. In my AI presentation, I show a non-AI call, because this woman this consumer just is so aggro. She's so upset. She's so angry. And she tells this is a real live human, ISA, right? And she's just like, I am out of here. I am not buying in Colorado. I hate the people in Colorado. I am cleaning up my house and I'm going to sell and I'm out of here. And she's just angry. And the human being, ISA, got so scared of her. He was like, oh, okay, bye. And he hangs up, right? And it was like, our AI is literally programmed to never get off the call. So then the next call I show, which is again, a real AI call, is the woman who's like sick and she wants to get off the phone. She only answered the call because she thought it was the doctor. Yes, they are selling, but she really doesn't want to talk. And she's like, okay, bye. But then AI says, yep, totally understand. But before we get off the call, what is your time frame for moving? And she just keeps the conversation going. And she literally gets an appointment for our client. And it's like a buy and a sell. And it's just sort of like, as a human being, I probably would have run off that call as well. Right. But AI can just be programmed to literally not get off. And they're always trying for two things. Our AI voice is trying for two things: get you a live transfer or get you an appointment like tomorrow. That's what it drives for. And the statistics are the statistics, right? None of our clients have enough time to make enough calls. AI voice can make enough calls. And 28% of these calls become actual conversations. 13% of all the calls AI is making right now end up in either an appointment or a live transfer. That's 13 out of every 100 is becoming an appointment or live transfer. It's just statistics, right? And we're trying to solve that last mile for you guys. It's not to replace you. We're never here to replace you. We don't take commission splits. We're here for you guys to make your commissions, right? Know what you're going to spend with us, be able to plan that in your budgeting, right? And drive the cost down. Drive the cost down from spending thousands of dollars a month on ISAs and call centers and all that to a few $100 a month. That's what we're trying to do. So stay here, stay with us. I'm asking you selfishly to stay with us, but I'm also telling you, man, Ylopo 2.0, Maverick, AI, we are pushing the boundaries and we're going to take it all as it comes, but let's be patient. Let's have faith in Follow Up Boss if they've never let us down before, and let's see what happens.
And well, before we go, I know that we've already had an hour. For those of you worried about the commission stuff, don't hate me, Gene Howard. What I'm doing to prepare for it is I'm training my agents how to go over a buyer broker agreement and advocate for their commission as a buyer's agent. So your time right now, instead of worrying about the delta of things you can't control, train your agents to sit down with a buyer and say, this is our loyalty agreement. We're going to work together for 6 months. If you buy a house, this is my commission. We're going to put in an offer to ask the seller to pay for it. It's a hard discussion for buyer's agents to learn how to do. Have them do it now when they don't need it to earn their paycheck.
Yep. And we didn't talk about this, but same exact thing, Barry. We didn't even sync up on that. We're doing the exact same thing.
Yeah. All right. Sorry.
So what I would say, I literally was on with one of the top attorneys in this field yesterday. We're talking about, the commission stuff. Basically what's going to happen, because there's so many real estate agents in so many states, So January 1st, 2024, in the state of Washington, which has been way ahead of the whole rest of the country, okay, there's going to be basically required mandatory buyer agent agreements, which you could be mad about that or pissed about that. I think it's going to be amazing. I think I think the people in the state of Washington, you know, when you're working with a buyer and be like, nope, it's a state law. Like, we have to, like, when I start working with you, we've got to have this agreement. Here's everything. Here's how it's going to work. And I know the real estate community is the most inventive, innovative community out there. And I am 100% do not believe buyer agent commissions are going away. And so I also, I've talked to James Dwiggins, who's one of the smartest guys in the room on this topic, and the lawyers, you know, they're just like, look, every single state is going to require buyer agent agreements, and it's going to happen. Innovative mortgage companies are going to allow people to write it into the financing across the board, right? And you take a 2.5% commission across a 30-year mortgage, and no one's feeling it. I'm just telling you, like, we're going to innovate. Things will change for sure. I do think it's all getting out of the MLSs. I think the putting the commissions in, you know, I think where people think, well, it'll just be optional, which is what happened in Northwest MLS like 4 years ago. I think we're at serious risk of, no, it's just not even going to be in the MLS at all. But there will be seller commissions. There will be buyer commissions. Everybody needs representation. It's the most important, the most valuable economic transaction in any consumer's life. And someone should never walk into a courtroom without a lawyer, and someone should never walk into a real estate transaction without representation. I firmly believe that. And that's what's going to happen. It's just going to be done differently. We're sure going to figure it out. You might be negative about it, but I'm not. I've been around the block, and there will be commissions.
Well, yeah, like, just like when you're a listing agent, it's hard. Like, why are you worth 6%? You know, and then navigating that and going over your value proposition. Buyers agencies, we've never really had to do that. It's like, oh yeah, don't worry about that. The seller will pay me. Well, now buyers agents just have to learn how to have the same conversation. And so just do it now. Don't worry about the other stuff. Just learn how to do it now, and you'll be fine no matter what your market says.
It's not going to be 6%. It's going to be like, yeah, I'm 2%, 2.5%, I'm 3%, whatever. Dude, I tried to sell a boat. I tried to sell a boat last year. The guy would not take my boat as an agent for less than 15%, right? Like 2.5% is nothing. It's absolutely nothing, right? And like I said, the sellers, like, when I sell my house, guys, I'm going to make sure that I have like the juiciest buyer agent commission, because I want everyone bringing their buyers to my house, right? And that's going to happen. It's going to be in mortgages. Like, no one's going to bristle at it. It's going to happen, right? It's just going to happen. So I'm an absolute optimist on where we got to go through the pain. We're going to go through the transition. I'm also going to tell you it's not going to change tomorrow, because this thing's dragging out, and there's appeals and back and forths, and they're in the courts, and it's just dragging out. Like, it's not all going to end tomorrow. So this will take a few years to play out, but it is what's coming. It is what's coming.
All right. Now, sorry.
Do it.
Hey guys.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Appreciate everyone.